faith is believing and having confidence that what he has spoken in his word, that he's going to bring it to pass. Our father of faith, Abraham, in Hebrews chapter number 11. We see the roll call of faith, and Abraham is highlighted in Hebrews chapter 11 because of his great faith. The Bible tells us that it was by faith that when Abraham was given a commission to go from his homeland and to walk on this journey with God, the Bible says in verse number 8 that he obeyed. He didn't contemplate it. He didn't think about it. He didn't call the psychic hotline. He didn't have a discussion with his family. He didn't run it by his wife. He simply obeyed. And can I tell you today, beloved, that if we're going to really walk in the real power of God, we got to learn how to obey. That means that, Lord, whatever you say, that settles it. How quickly are we to believe some joker in the street? Some of us today will believe our friends over God. We'll believe somebody on television, a politician, before we believe God. Some of us will believe Pookie and them before we believe the word of God. This is a good time for you to touch your neighbor and say, neighbor, you best to believe God. You better learn how to obey God, because people will let you down. Friends will let you down. Co-workers will let you down. Yes, honey, boo-boo, your family members will let you down. But look at somebody and tell them, God will never let me down. That's why whatever he tells me to do, I'm going to do it. Wherever he wants me to go, thank God I'll go. Somebody clap their hands and thank God for obedience today. I don't care who's wearing mini skirts. I'm going to obey and be holy. I don't care who's trying to be naked like Beyonce, but I'm going to cover it up and be righteous. I'm going to love my neighbor. I'm going to treat my friends right. I'm going to do the right thing. High five a neighbor and say, I'm going to do the right thing. We living in a world now that people is calling right wrong. Oh my God, we got to be like Abraham. Abraham obeyed, and the Bible says he went out not knowing where he should go. Can I tell you today, if we're going to really walk by faith, saints of God, we got to learn how to move on God's promise. God made a promise to Abraham, and he says, I'm going to bless you. I'm going to show you a land. I'm going to increase you. I'm going to increase your possessions. I'm going to bless those who are with you. I'm going to curse those who come against you. But you have got to move when I say move. Look at your neighbor, say, neighbor, move. You know what the problem with some of us is? We are too busy being still. We got to learn how to move. You remember we did it last week. We got out of our seats and we started moving. Abraham was given a commission to go to the land of Canaan. It was going to be a strange place. There were going to be some people there. There were going to be some situations along the way that he would have to endure. But God made a promise, and he stated that I'm still going to bless you in spite of the things that would come your way. If you would refer over to Genesis chapter 12, we see that God begins to establish his covenant with Abram. When he tells Abram, he says, I want you to get out of your country. And verse number 1, get from your kinfolk, from your father's house unto a land that I will show you. If we're really going to begin to walk by faith, saints, we have to be able to leave the familiar. Many of us today are operating in a spirit of fear because we are afraid to change directions. Have you ever stopped for a moment and thought about where you are? Perhaps where you are right now is causing you to drown. The reason why you are on life support in a bad relationship cannot have joy down in your spirit. Mad as hell at the word because you won't change positions. You got to people. You have to make some decisions. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not saying that anymore. I'm going to remove myself from the familiar places, and I'm going to allow God to take me on a journey. What am I saying to you today, saints of God? You have to allow God to take you on a journey. You have to allow God to lead and guide you and navigate you through the trials and the temptations of life. You have to trust Him enough that He's gonna protect you when the rain starts to fall. You have to trust Him enough that when roadblocks begin to erect in your life, that God is going to take you over them. You have to have enough faith that if He can take you, or if He can keep you in the midst of it, that He's going to bring you out of it. Oh, I believe today that there are some people who are trusting God to move out of a place of debt, to move out of a bad relationship, to move out of a job that's not prospering. You have to learn how to trust God while you're in the midst of it. I love Abraham because Abraham didn't give a rebuttal. He says, listen, I'm going to go, God, wherever you tell me to go. This is what he says. He says that I will make thee a great nation. Here's the blessing. I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. Remember what I said last week? That you should insert your name there. I will make Watasha McNeill a great nation. I will bless Watasha McNeill. I will make Watasha McNeill's name great, and Watasha McNeill will be a blessing. I will bless them who bless Watasha. I will curse them who curse Watasha. And in everything that she does, all of her family, everybody that's connected to her will be blessed.